All right, let's try this again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Relationship Remix. I am your host and guide, Ari Kardosh. I'm so excited y'all are here. This is going to be an epic week, one that's been in preparation for a long time. And it's been really interesting for me as a relationship coach to just be witnessing what's been happening in the world. About a year ago, many of you were joining me for Love on Lockdown when we had entered the really crazy period of coronavirus. And now it's been a full year since that time. And there's a different energy. There, like, people have been through, have kind of settled in, fortunately, with coronavirus in many different ways, and whatever it looks like in your country, in your city. And now there's this new vitalization, this revitalization that's happening around the world, I think, with a lot of people are starting to feel their freedoms again. And yet we have lived in this crazy way of living for a while, for whether you've been living with a partner or your partners, we've been living with your kids, whether you've been on your own, whatever it's been, there's this new, like, oh, things are changing, the times are changing, what's going to happen next? And so I really felt this calling to launch Relationship Remix and have something out there for people to look at. How do we freshen things up? Spring is here if you're in America, and there's this new freshness. So here we are. I'm super stoked to just be diving in with each of you. And it's really cool to see people calling in from all over the world, a lot of New York, a lot of Bali. We got Long Beach, New York, Michigan, Seattle, lots of people calling from around the world. And I'm super stoked to have everyone here. So thank you for spending your time with us this week. It's going to be awesome. So let me give you, we're going to do a couple different things, but if you have ever hung out with me, you know that I really, really like to get us out of our heads and more centered in our bodies before we begin. So we're just going to do that because we've all had, whether it's been a busy morning already or a busy day all day, I just want to invite each of you and myself to really come into our hearts and our bodies as we get started together. So that just means close your eyes, straighten your spine, and take a few slow, deep breaths, letting go of any stories that you're holding on to from earlier, and just noticing your breath. If you want, you can place your right hand over your heart. And just noticing how the air feels going in through your nostrils. And then you can slowly exhale through your mouth. Yeah, do that a couple more times. And now just filling your heart with gratitude. Just quietly fill your heart with anything you're feeling thankful for in this moment. Could be the air that you're breathing. Could be this place and this time together. Beautiful. And then taking just a moment to set your intention for this week. So what are you here for? Why do you want to do Relationship Remix right now? What do you hope to get out of it? I'm just going to add to our intentions. My invitation to you is that anything that needs to be released, be released. Anything that needs to be received with ease and grace. It's for your own journey so that it's really freaking awesome. And with that, take one more slow, deep breath, reaching your arms up above your spine. Stretch, 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 open your lungs up. And release with a sigh. Shake it out. You can wiggle what needs to wiggle. Stretch what needs to stretch, and come on back into this space, opening your eyes when you are ready. Woo! Welcome, everybody. Now I'm ready to go. So I would love for this morning to be as interactive as you want it to be. Evening for you, morning for me. It is Tuesday morning if you're in Bali. It is Monday night if you're in the USA. So I just can let you know if you're in the US, the future looks bright and sunny today. You have lots to look forward to. So let me just touch in. One of the things that's been really powerful for me in preparing for this was looking at what has been going on that people have been really struggling with. And I made a list. Many of you have been joining the Facebook group and just telling me what has been going on. I've gotten a lot of private messages. I've gotten a lot of responses to the questions I asked, but it's been all sorts of, hey, I'm really struggling with. And here are the top it's like 15 that have been repeated many, many times. We have over 400 people now who have joined in some capacity for Relationship Remix. These are the things that keep being brought up. Boundaries, vulnerability, fear of abandonment, physical intimacy, not able to communicate. There's no mystery. Everything's on repeat. Time, desire for the people to be with themselves, desire for their partner, or their partners, big emotions, acceptance, not feeling judged, presence, really being with their partner in that moment, lots of conflict, dealing with expectations and assumptions, self-worth, trust, having the space, just having the space to be together or separate, being parents and feeling heard. These are just a few of the ones that were repeated multiple times. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for people right now. And what I want to say is I hope that this brings you a lot of hope and a lot of answers or a lot of clarity on where to go next. Again, this is for people who are currently in relationship or relationships. This is for people who want to be in relationship, and it's for people who just like to geek out about relationships in general. So let's take a quick poll. If you are comfortable, please type in the chat and let us know, are you currently in a relationship or are you currently single? So go ahead and just reply in the chat. Let us know what's going on for you. Here we go. Married, in a relationship, married, currently single, married and poly, single, in a relationship, almost 11 years. Woo woo. Single and ready to mingle. Yeah, this is really good. We're identifying ourselves. It's complicated. Yes, I feel that one sometimes. In a situation. Oh, I like this answer. This is cool. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone who's replying. Again, this is for everybody. So I hope you all can get something awesome out of this week. And know that I'm just cheering you on. Relationshiping is really hard, whether it's being in a relationship with yourself or being in a relationship with another human or humans. And if you don't know, I am really open to whatever life is calling you into in this moment. And so that could be monogamy, it could be open relating, it could be being single, it could be being celibate, it could be being slutty, it could be whatever, slutty and single, it could be whatever. There's all the different flavors, and what I am looking for is it serving you? Is this thing that you are doing, is it really filling your soul and nourishing you? Are you able to do so from a really healthy, grounded place? And so a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about are tools to help you live the best life that you can in relationship, whatever that means for you. So there we go. Let me tell you a little bit about this week. Tonight, we've got this opening circle. And then afterwards, I'm going to be doing a phone call with Stephen and me, two of my clients, and they're just going to share a little bit about their journey. So if you are interested in learning more about the tools they've used, they have some really awesome stuff. They are just a phenomenal couple. And I've had the honor of working with them for a while now. And they answer questions. They will be blunt about what it's like to work with me and with other people they've worked with. They've worked with some amazing coaches. So yeah, just really excited to put that out there for you and have you meet them. The rest of the week, we've got 3 days in a row of amazing guest speakers, people calling in with things about like nurtured heart approach and vulnerability and how to spice up the bedroom and boundaries and big emotions and all sorts of things. So you should have received the schedule already. That all of the interviews will be happening at the same time every day. That's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in Bali, and that's 5 to 7 in Pacific, and 8 to 10 in East Coast. So you can join us for all of those. The opening and closing circles are in Zoom specifically, and everything else you can just hop into Facebook Live and watch the interview that's happening there. So, yay. Please, 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 please be respectful. This whole experience is going to be like Vegas. So whatever happens here stays here. Please keep that everything that you hear confidential. If you hear something that moves you, you can ask the person that is sharing the story if you can share it. But otherwise, only talk about your own experience and broad things if you hear specific stories. Anything I share, you are welcome to share. It is all good. I have shared some crazy shit out on the internet over the years that I am still amused is out there. So watch out. If you Google my name, you'll be scared, maybe, or really amused. So, and also please be respectful in the group. This is a group of people who are coming together, and we just want to honor everyone's journey, whatever that is, because we're all different. We don't have the same perspectives and we don't have the same backgrounds. So let's just be really respectful of everyone. Okay. With that, I asked where people are from and if you are currently single or in a relationship. Beautiful. And I am curious if you'd let me know. Let's see, what is the other thing I really want to know? I would love to know if you naturally prefer, people who are in this group right now, if you lean more towards monogamy or towards open relating. If you could just let me know that, that'd be great. Everyone here is welcome. This is for everyone, but it helps me just understand who's in the crowd right now. So if you are open to outing yourself, go for it. And if you are not, don't stress. You always can choose to participate or not. Sweet. We got a lot of everything. A lot of monogamy, exploring options, curiosity. This is cool. I love it. So whatever you're curious about, we're hopefully going to provide some tools and perspectives for everyone. All right. And is there anything that is really, that this week, if I could do one thing for you that would blow your mind, if I could help you with one situation and you're open to sharing it, type it in the text. If I could blow your mind this week, or I could make sure one of my guest speakers could blow your mind, what would happen? Go ahead and post that in the chat. I'll take just a moment. What would blow your mind this week? Give everybody about 10 more seconds. We'll see if anybody has anything. Maybe we are clear. Thanks, Randall. If I can become Eligard. Quick ways to re-energize. Sweet. Mind blown equals good tips for avoiding ending up in the anxious avoidant trap. Ooh, that's a great one. We can talk about that. Quick ways to re-energize. Feeling good? All right. Beautiful. How to become individuals and still have the relationship. I saw this so many times when I was going through what people are struggling with. Shifting from severe disappointment in relationships to be simply excited in the curiosity of getting to know someone. Ways not to get cock blocked by your child. My youngest, so I'm a mom of two. My youngest is 4, and I swear since he was born, he came out wanting to cock block his father and I. It was really amusing. Like whenever Jamin and I are hugging, he will run up and like push between us. And even when he was like a nursing child, if Jamin came in, he'd automatically just start crying. I'm like, what the heck? He made you, chill out. But hello. Let's see. How to nip toxic patterns in the bud. Yeah, I love it. All right, sweet. Thank you. This was super helpful. I am going to take note of all of these and see overcoming insecurity and jealousy through thoughts that surface. Cool. We got a lot to tackle in 1 week. We'll see what we can do, but I'm certainly going to try. All right. So I would like to do one more thing before I jump into a little mini masterclass with all of you. And that is, I'd love to do a check-in just to see how you're doing. So if you want to just pop on, you are welcome to. You can actually turn your video on and talk. And I'm going to keep the spotlight on me, so you won't actually be video cameraed, or recorded, but I'll be able to hear your voice too. So if you're interested in turning your video on or just turning your voice on and letting me know how you're doing in 2 words. This is a 2-word check-in, how you're feeling right now as we get this week started. We can also post in the chat if that's more comfortable. So how are you doing? Check in with your body and just see like what's coming up for you, what emotions are present. And I invite you not to use the word good. So what else is there? I will start. I am feeling excited and, 2 words. Curious, excited and curious. That's where I'm at. Settled and curious. Anyone else? Eleanor is grateful and intrigued. Angelina. Oh, we've got lots of different feelings here. We've got excited and ready, dedicated and open, anxious, excited, pumped, displaced and hopeful, tired and open, tired and depressed. I got lots. Ooh, got lots of tired. Excited with a new relationship, curious and open and curious. Anxious and interested. Cool. All right. Oh, let's get our energies up. I hear the tiredness too. So we'll try to get things up just a little bit. So let's move our bodies just for a moment. Just shake, wiggle, stretch if you're feeling tired. Move your spine, move your head. We're going to do some crazy breathing for a second. What I want you to do is take a deep breath, and we're just going to go, 3 times, okay? Let it out, let it out. We're going to get some energy moving so we're present for this next little teaching time. Here we go. Ready? Deep breath in. Nice. One more. And one more. Beautiful, beautiful. It's so easy to live in our heads. It's so easy to live in our heads, especially in modern day society, especially when we're on Zoom all day long. And so really coming back into our bodies and our souls is going to be one of the keys to our success in being in relationship. And with that, I'm going to ask, are there any specific logistics questions about this week before I turn everything over to talking a little bit about doing a little mini masterclass today? Any specific questions on logistics, how things are going to work, what you need? Everybody good? Thumbs up. Beautiful. You have access to all the recordings. Yes, everything is going to be posted in the Facebook group. I'm also going to be sending out a recap email that tells where you can find it. And I've had some people message me saying that they don't have Facebook. So I'm going to be creating a YouTube playlist that has all of our Relationship Remix stuff in it. And hopefully you'll be able to access it easily there. So we'll figure all the things out. So if that's you and you don't have Facebook, you can message me. Okay. All right. Otherwise, they'll all be on Facebook in our private group called Love and Relationships. All right. With that, I want to talk about relationships, but from the very foundation. And where I'm going to start is with this idea that people are looking for their better half. I'm going to use a little bit of my own opinions in this one. I think it's really cute that people say this better half phrase, and I also find it really repulsive, because I firmly believe that you are whole just as you are, And I firmly believe that anybody you attract is a whole person. And my hope is that two wholes equal a really beautiful union, or however many people come into this mix. And this idea of finding your better half, it can be really toxic and really dangerous, because it means that you don't feel complete without someone else, or that you don't have 100% responsibility either. Because I often see when people show up and they're like, we keep fighting, and the conflict just keeps arising. And, this is his fault. This is her fault. This is their fault. And I just want to pause and say that instead of looking at any situation or relationship as one pie and how much of this pie is mine, is my responsibility, I want to look at, there are two separate pies. So it's not like one pie and it's 30% my fault. Instead, there are two pies and you are responsible for 100% and they are
hear anything.
The speaker's on?
What? Hold on. Hopefully you can figure out the speaker situation. But instead, there are two different pies. You're 100% responsible for you. Now, I am talking in generalizations for people who are coupled, so two people together. Please, if you are in open relating, understand there's going to be multiple pies. And if you are currently single and we're geeking out about relationships, this whole pie concept is you. And it's really, really important, because if you can really bring this into your heart and your system of how can I make sure that my whole pie is mine and I can take responsibility for that, then if you choose to be in a relationship in the future, this is going to be really juicy and important for you, especially as you navigate conflict. So when we're looking at how does this operate, it's you, and it all comes back to you. And the foundation of being in relationship with anyone is, how are you in relationship with yourself? How are you in relationship with yourself? And this is the key. When I've been working with couples now and coaching people in relationship for almost a decade now. And it has been an amazing journey of watching people grow and watching myself grow and trying to figure out, like, what is it that makes the things really successful? What is it that gives relationships a solid foundation? And time again, I'm coming back to this understanding that when the two people understand themselves as individuals and they're not sacrificing themselves for the relationship. Now, there is compromise, there's negotiation, there's being in union with other people, and I understand that. But when they also know who they are and they honor their own soul, then it makes the relationship that much juicier, that much stronger, that much more passionate. It creates something that some people refer to as polarity. There's this pull of two different, it's like a magnets, right? Two different sets of attraction that come together, because they're not always squished together the whole time. They're actually creating some differences that are really attractive and can bring each other together more deeply. Throughout this whole time when I'm talking, if you have questions, feel free to just type them in the chat or comments. Like, I want to hear what's going on for you. So how does this resonate with people? This idea of two separate pies, this idea of being in relationship with yourself as being one of the foundations of being in relationship with anyone else. How is this landing with you? Go ahead and type it. How things are landing with you. Is this like landing? You're like, this is resonating. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. Or is this like, what? No, this is not what Disney told me. Disney told me all I had to do was find my prince or princess charming and ride off into the sunset. Cool. Beautiful. Totally tracks and is landing. Empowered, makes sense. But easier said than done based on old stories. Heck yes. It's new and scary, but excited to learn. Yeah. It's honestly, it's also really different way of thinking from much of how we're raised in mainstream. It's not what media tells us. It's definitely not what Disney raised us on. And it's also, for me, I was raised in the Christian church, and it also wasn't part of my upbringing. And so it's been a lot of like, looking at, and I'm not saying that it's how the Christian church teaches, but I want to be really clear that sometimes those are the messages we receive. And so I want to look for, how can we create a healthy structure? Yeah, it's a cure for codependency. And that it's really true, like how we can come back to ourselves. So I want to give you some maybe radical, depends on your life, but maybe some radical ideas about how we can kick off this week with turning our attention away from being in a relationship with others to being in a relationship with ourselves first, because this is really where we're starting. So if you have ever, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite resources. So everybody grab your pen. If you have, I'll put a link to it in the comments too. But if you have never read the book, The Big Leap, I highly, highly recommend it. It's by Gay Hendricks. It is called The Big Leap, and it is amazing. I recommend it to all of my clients, whether we're doing relationship coaching, career coaching, life coaching, doesn't matter. It's phenomenal. And in the book, he speaks about something called yes, it's life-changing. In the book, he speaks about something called the upper limit problem. And the upper limit problem is basically this idea that humans are not very good at actually being happy and content and satisfied. Thank you, Tammy. And we're not. It's just something we haven't practiced. And it's really interesting because when I talk with people, I hear the same stories over and over again. And I have also been guilty as charged, but it's this idea that we are constantly striving for this moment. I'll be happy when I find a partner. I'll be happy when we get married. I'll be happy when I have kids. I'll be happy when I have a house. I'll be happy when I get that job. I'll be happy when I get a promotion. I'll be happy when. And we keep going and going and going and going and going. And yet when the moment occurs, we don't have the capacity to stay with that emotion that we've been striving for because we haven't trained, which is really fascinating. I mean, imagine if you were like, yeah, I will lift 300 pounds when I lift 300, when I get to, when I get to 40 years old or whatever, but you never go to the gym. So how are you going to get there? How are you going to train? Your body isn't ready. You're not used to it. So you can't actually do it or do it for a sustained period. And so what I want to do is start shifting your idea of how big and important your emotions are in your life and how we are with our emotions. And this is going to be a big part of what it's like to be in a relationship with yourself, and then how it ripples out into being in a relationship with others. And it could be other humans. It could be with your children, with your beloved, with your beloveds, whatever it may be. But looking at our emotions. So going back to this upper limit problem, this idea is that we like are striving for this moment, but when the moment comes, when we win the award, when we get the promotion, when we get married, there's this this pause where we feel it and we feel elated and it's all here. And then very quickly, we will create the thing that feels more comfortable, which is discomfort. So we will create something in our minds. We'll freak ourselves out, or we'll create a situation that just ruins everything. So because that feels more comfortable. That's what we've been spending the majority of our lives doing. So here we are, we have this big moment, and then what? We come crashing down. So in the book, he talks about this moment where he's, rocking out his career. His relationship with his wife is beautiful. And one of his kids goes off to a summer camp and he's just so proud and everything is just beautiful. And he's sitting at his desk and he's just feeling like, wow, this is really cool. And then a few moments later, he gets this vivid image of terrible things happening and how his daughter's actually probably really lonely and sad at this camp and all these things. And he starts freaking out. And so much so that he is convinced that something bad is happening. So he calls the camp and they're like, nope, she's great. Everything's fine. But this is normal. Parents usually call in during this first week to check in on their kids because they're really anxious. And he was just noticing this idea of like, wow, where did that come from? Everything was so good. And then, as somebody just said, reminds me of Brene Brown's Foreboding Joy. It's totally very, very, same idea. Another great resource that I recommend to everyone is actually Brene Brown's Power of Vulnerability. Incredible. The audio is amazing. If you really want to go into this stuff, that's another great resource. But this idea that here you are, the joy is here, the happiness is here, the contentment is here, and we have to destroy it. And so what I want to do is say this, you don't have to live this way. We can actually start practicing being in our emotions. And then when we get to be happy. When those moments are here, we get to really experience them more deeply and for longer periods of time. It's really amazing, but we don't know it because it's not what we're taught. Our society has this underlying message, two big ones that I hear a lot that I'm noticing with people that they hold. One is that you're not good enough. So if you're not good enough, we're always like striving to be better. And two is that it's not safe for you to be you. If you are authentically you, something bad will happen. They will leave you. You will lose the job. They will find out that they don't want to be around you, whoever that is. You won't get the role that you wanted to play, whatever it is, if they find out who you really are, right? So it's not safe to be us. It's not safe for us to have these emotions or to be as crazy as we want to be or be as wild as we want to be or to be as sad as we actually are feeling or to let any of this out. But what I want to do is start creating a culture where we can be with ourselves, with all of our emotions and have it be safe. And that doesn't mean sloppy. And that doesn't mean vicious. It doesn't mean dangerous. It's in a really healthy way, but most of us don't learn how to be a healthy way in our emotions. But you did know, all of you once knew. When you were kids, you knew exactly what to do with all those big emotions. Anybody ever been around a toddler, seen a toddler, been a toddler? Yeah. So what happens when a toddler falls down? They just cry. They just let it out. They just, right? Like they feel that pain and they don't give a fuck who's around. Excuse my French. I swear sometimes. They don't give a fuck. They're just like, yeah, it hurts. I'm just going to go into this. And yet when adults fall down, what happens? I can tell you what happens from me personally. This was me the other day. I was walking and I wasn't paying attention and a spider dropped on my hand and I freaked out and I misstepped and I twisted my ankle, or what would have been a twisted ankle. And my instant reaction was not, oh my gosh, that hurts so much. How can I take care of myself and be in the pain? My instant reaction was, oh crap, did anybody see me fall? I hope not. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I just kind of slipped, right? And like, how culturally ingrained is that message that I need to be worried about everybody else around me except for myself? Whew. And how does that show up in our everyday life? This happens over and over and over again in these subtle yet super manipulative, gross ways. I did cuss. And so looking at what could be done differently and knowing what I know now, I turned my attention inward. I turned my attention from my instant reaction was to like be concerned with the outside world, but the actual problem was in my inside world. So I turned all of my attention and focus back to my hurt ankle and I let myself feel the pain. So here are 3 words I'd like you all to write down if you're taking notes. Breath, sound, and movement. My invitation to you today is to invite more breath, sound, and movement into your life. It doesn't matter whether it's if you get hurt, it doesn't matter if or it could be if you are just moving through your day and you're noticing that something feels constricted or stuck. Maybe you're just feeling your chest is hurting. Maybe you're feeling lonely. Maybe you're feeling sad. Maybe you're feeling angry. Breath, sound, and movement. Maybe you want to do self-pleasure or you're in the middle of intimacy with yourself or with someone else. More breath, sound, and movement. When we add these in, they create such a powerful experience for our bodies because this is the thing our bodies want. They want our emotions to be in motion. The root of the word is for emotions is to be in motion, and these things can move through us, but instead we have an emotion and we take it and we try to stuff it away. And this is not helpful for anybody, especially not ourselves. All these stuffed away emotions will manifest in all sorts of big ways later on. Like it could be getting headaches a lot or getting an ulcer or noticing your neck has a lot of tension all the time or noticing that you're exploding on your beloved or on your kids. Like there's just no room for nothing that was released. So eventually it has to release in a different way or calcify in another way. And it stinks and it's not healthy and it's no good for you. Leah saying, this is music to my ears. I've been giving myself space for this lately, especially the last couple of months. And there's just so much like labor, breathing, and moaning, hip circles. It's so freeing. It is so freeing. Thank you, Leah. And this is really strange for those of you who don't normally incorporate this in your life. When I started doing this, I felt so weird, you guys, so weird. Because I'd be, it's like, we don't do it. We are taught to be like robots, kind of. We're supposed to show up and do the thing, and that's what success is, and don't show emotions and don't be in emotions. And if you have emotions, you're kind of crazy or hysterical. Like there's all these projections of what it means, but we all have emotions. Doesn't matter your sex, doesn't matter how you identify. We all are humans. We have these emotions, and I want us to start looking at them and acknowledging them. And sometimes it's as simple as just saying hello to your emotions. And that sounds weird, but I use a lot of parenting tools when I do relationship coaching because parenting tools are awesome. But can you imagine if you just tune into your body for just a moment? Everybody try this. Close your eyes. Maybe put one hand on your heart and put your right hand on your heart. Let's put your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your lower belly. It's like your gut, like we say our gut or intuition. So your left hand on your lower belly. And we're just gonna turn inward and notice if there are any emotions moving around inside or feeling stuck inside. So go ahead and close your eyes and just notice what's present for you. And I want you to try to name the emotion in a one word. I'm going to give you the 5 main emotions that I work with, but there's so many more. You can choose your own, but are you feeling sad anywhere? Just noticing. Let go of any stories around why you're feeling sad. Just notice if you feel sad. Are you feeling mad anywhere? Are you feeling glad anywhere? Are you feeling fear anywhere? And are you feeling shame anywhere? You might feel all of them. You might feel none of them. If you feel an emotion, I invite you to just say hello. So you could say hello, sadness. Hello, anger. Hello, happiness. Hello, fear. Hello, shame, or any other emotion. Just greet it. Let it know that you are witnessing it. And then take a deep breath into that space wherever you're feeling it. And release. And finally, thank your body for letting you check in with it. When you're ready, you can slowly put your hands down and open your eyes. How was that for you? How was it checking in with your body? If that was new or if you do this regularly, what did you notice? You can go ahead and put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. There are a lot of feelings in there. And we contain multitudes. Sometimes people are surprised they find all the emotions and then more. Yeah, it can feel really scary, challenging. Feels like a lot. It definitely can. It's all there. It's all there all the time. Feelings can be hard to name. Yeah, feelings can be really hard to name. I noticed a desire to quote unquote do it right by noticing quote unquote correctly, which gave way to both fear, not feeling anything, and feeling too much. Oh, I feel you. I feel you on all the feelings. One of my biggest core wounds is good enough, not being good enough. So I'm like, yep, totally get that. Shame is hard. I felt like checking in with a lifelong friend, and it brought me to presence. Beautiful. Hi, Red. Almost feel like a ton of weight on your chest. Like if I keep it to myself, it will just go away. And this is what we're taught. We're taught that if we bottle it up, then somehow it won't cause harm. Or that's the right way to be. But I can tell you that the more we get in touch with our emotions, the more we allow them to be acknowledged, like a friend. You guys, this is what I imagine in my little world. When I go internal, I imagine like somebody, I walk into my imaginary living room of in my imaginary internal world, and there, like lounging on my couch is a big ball of fear or judgment or shame. And instead of being like, what the hell, get out of here. Instead, I now start greeting them like, oh, hey, old friend, you're here. You have you have a message for me? Cool. Well, make yourself comfortable. Do you want some tea? I'll get you some tea. Yeah, you need a blanket? Okay. You don't have to go anywhere. I just want you to be comfortable. And when you're ready, I would love to hear your message for me. Which is a really, really different way of handling emotions. And what I have found over time is that they get cozy and they're like, wait a minute, you're letting me be here this time? Because you haven't let me be here before. Usually you're just a jerk and you kick me out, or you try to kick me out, right? And I'm just banging on the door all day and I don't go away. But instead you're like welcoming me? Like, what the heck? Okay. And then we start sharing. And then the message comes out, the internal wisdom that you already have. Because remember, you are already whole. You are already whole just as you are. Nothing needs to be, quote unquote, fixed. You're not broken. You may have had life experiences that sucked. You may have trauma. But what we want to do is start looking for your internal wisdom and trusting it, leaning into that. So looking at these emotions and just greeting them, saying, hey, I see you. I'd love to know what your message is. When you're ready, when you feel safe, you tell me. I'm going to listen. And then just breathing into that space and watching what happens, just being really observant. This can be really, really powerful. When we get these messages, then it can help us make grounded decisions, and we can communicate more compassionately with ourselves and with others around us. So this, I just want to, if I need to breathe, somebody else needs to breathe too. So everybody take a deep breath. Yeah. So here we go. Randall asked, do people ever weaponize your emotions against you? People often, here's the thing. When you know your emotions and you're grounded them and you really can trust them, then it makes it very difficult for others to really do anything against you. It really depends on how you're learning how to communicate with them. And what I want to share is there are safe ways to be with your emotions and to release your emotions. And there are ways that are going to maybe not be as safe. So I'm not saying that I want you to feel all of your emotions and start crying out in the street. And when you're angry to like punch a pillow or like start screaming at your boss at work. That's not it. Instead, what I want to do is really look at how do you feel your emotions first? Just allow them to be there. Maybe you've never really felt your emotions since you were a child. And so it's starting to open that door, that self-awareness to feel and allow yourself to feel and let go of the judgment and the old stories that are there. They're just stories. We all are filled with stories, and it's the stories that hold us back. So I want to start looking at like, what is the story that you have, whatever it is, around your emotions being too big, too small, you can't feel them, they're not safe, whatever your story may be. Really start looking at that this week and saying, what is it? What's there for me? There's something really juicy there, messages in all of our emotions. And emotions are like waves, right? We want to ride the wave and then it passes and you're done. these are called primary emotions. When we're in our healthy state, we can ride the waves. We can feel our primary emotions. They come in, they're big, we feel it, and then they go away. They're done. Secondary emotions are more in this like constant blah state. So they're going to be like depression and anxiety, the numbness, the chronic feeling where we can't get over. There's no wave. They're just always there. And they're there for a reason, but what we want to do is really move into a healthy state. This is moving from our parasympathetic state to our sympathetic state, where we're not in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. I'm saying a lot of things right now. I'm just kind of going with what's coming to me right now, but this is a lot, and there's a lot deeper we can go with each of these. But the big message that I want to share is that when the first step is recognizing your emotions, allowing for safe space. This will probably mean you need to make some time to step away and be alone. So it could mean going out to your car if you're at the office and just sitting in your car and feeling it all. It could mean making space after the kids go to bed and just being alone in your own bed for a few minutes and just saying like, what is there? What do I feel? It could be waking up in the morning and just checking in and saying, how do I feel right now? And then going back to this idea. So first, acknowledge what is already happening inside of you and being real with it. And then second, I want to start training. I want to start getting those muscles built so that when you do hit that point that you want to experience something, you want to feel the way you want to feel, that you actually can. So we're going to do one more quick exercise before we wrap up. And this is going to be the next step. So you guys just tried something where it was like lean into what's already present and acknowledge it. Let it just be there. Greet it like a friend. Now we're going to do a new training. The new training is going to be, what do you want to feel? So if you have some emotions you would like to feel, go ahead and put those in the chat if you feel comfortable. Could be confident, could be powerful, empowered. It could be joyful, happy, could be anything. Peace. What is it? What is it that you really want to feel in your life? Joy, patience, passion, clarity, ease. What else? What do you want to feel? Joy, excitement, joyful, patient, present in the moment, fun, passion, ease, excitement, clarity, happiness, open. These are powerful. Successful, joyful, love, connection, playful, confident, skillful, presence. Woo! These are powerful. So let's call this in. Let's just do it. Let's make this happen. Let go of anything that needs to happen. We're gonna just play. We're gonna be curious. Maybe you'll feel it, maybe you won't. Either way, what's supposed to happen is going to happen. Cool? And this is a practice. This is like going to the gym. So we're picking up the 2-pound dumbbells. We're gonna start training nice and easy and gently. If nothing happened, nothing happened this time. If something happens, great. Okay. There's no judgment from me, anyone else. This is for your benefit to start exercising these muscles. And this is going to help you get ready to experience these things that you want. This joy, connection, grounded, resilient, acceptance, success, confidence, love, connection more deeply when the time comes. So this is for you to be practicing. You can take it home with you and practice it tonight. I love to do this exercise first thing in the morning. So I do a quick scan of like, what am I currently feeling, acknowledging all the emotions, and then I start practicing what I want to feel. So let's do this together. Please close your eyes again. And I want you to invite whatever emotion it is that you really want to feel, because your body is capable of feeling that emotion just on the spot if you want to. So invite your body to feel that emotion. Maybe you want to think about a time when you felt that way in your life, if you've felt that way before, or just use your imagination and imagine what you think it would feel like. And start bringing that into your body. Really allow it to be in your body, not just in your mind, but in your body. Notice how your body would change. Maybe you can breathe easier. Maybe your spine is straighter. Maybe your tummy is looser or softer. Maybe it makes different parts of you tingle. Maybe you get turned on by this feeling. Maybe it just makes you smile, but feel it all. Allow yourself to bring in that emotion that you are hungry for. And whenever you're ready, thank your body for feeling whatever was present and inviting yourself to keep being curious and keep training. Take one more slow, deep breath and release with a sound. You can slowly open your eyes, shake what needs to shake, wiggle what needs to wiggle. Wow. Wow. So however that went, I am grateful. I'm grateful that you're all here. I'm grateful that you're all listening and able to participate however feels most appropriate for you. This is some potentially tricky stuff that can have huge impacts on the way you move through the world, the way you show up with your family, the way you show up in your business, the way you show up in your relationship. And it all starts here. It all starts with the relationship with yourself. So that's where I really wanted to kick off this week is how are you in relationship with yourself? As we close our opening circle, I would love to hear in 2 words, how are you feeling right now? How are you currently feeling as we're closing things up and kicking things off? Oh, wow. I found myself bursting into laughter and tears at the same time. Yes. Peaceful and present, relaxed, elevated, feeling present, hopeful and sleepy, calm and relaxed. Beautiful, excited and hopeful, uncertain, relaxed and hopeful. Everything is welcome. We contain multitudes. We contain multitudes. And I am so grateful that each of you are here, that you showed up for yourself, that you're showing up for your current or future relationships. They're just here. They're here. I am here. You are here. And here is enough. Things will move. Things will move. I know some people are feeling excited, scared, joyful, mixed, lots of things. Things are going to move. Sometimes you're going to feel the emotions and you're going to want to cry or you're going to want to laugh. Any form of release is really great. So just lean into it. If you feel it, and if you feel it and it feels safe and appropriate, go for it. Let it out. Let it out, because that's what's going to help create the healing and it's going to let things move out of you so they're not getting held back. And then we're going to be working more and more on how can you take this current state that you're in and use it for powerful good and connection with other humans. All right. Thank you all so much. I'm so excited to be in the relationship remix with you all. I hope today was helpful. If there were any key takeaways you wanted to share, feel free to post them in the chat and the Facebook group. That'd be wonderful. If questions come up, please post them in the Facebook group. I want to be able to take care of each of you this week, and I'm sending you so much love. If there are things you need, please reach out. Don't hesitate to ask. I am here to serve, and I am just honored to be in this container, in this celebration with each of you. Sending you a lot of love. There's still time to invite your friends or your family members if you think this would be helpful for people. Invite them in. This whole thing is a gift for you, and I'm excited to have you here. Thank you, everyone. You can unmute if you want. Tammy, would you just unmute everybody? And I'll say, have an amazing day or night.
Good morning.
Thanks, everybody.
Mary is so good. Mwah. Love you, girlfriend.
Thank you.